for all the work that they've done with our Hawaii Guardsmen who have some of the expertise in the nuclear realm that put together the briefing and was able to provide the proper science and information necessary to get out to our public and keep them informed. But again, it's a balance, right? So we have to be able to do this scientifically, informational-wise, and then do this to not scare the public, but keep them aware of what's going on. And all through this, I can tell you that Vern Miyagi, the Administrator of Emergency Management, and myself, we met with the governor months ago. We talked through what our scenario, what we're thinking about, and what the possibility was, what the threat was. And we received some guidance from him, and then we moved forward with a plan and a strategy. And so without further ado, let me introduce the governor of the state of Hawaii. Governor Ige.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us here this morning. As the General had said, you are part of our information campaign of ensuring that the community really understands what will become the new normal as we proceed forward. We believe that it is imperative that we be prepared and for every disaster, and in today's world, that includes a nuclear attack. We want to make sure that the public is informed and the visitors who come to our island as well. And this exercise, the monthly test, is really our effort to make sure that the public understands what is required of them. Again, we would emphasize that the possibility of attack today is very remote. But we do believe that it's important that we be proactive, that we plan and are prepared for every possibility moving forward. And I think most importantly, and why we believe that this partnership with the press is important, the response that our citizens need to be prepared for is different in a natural disaster, which I think we have done a better and better job of being prepared for a hurricane, being prepared for a tsunami. We want to make sure that the public is also as prepared should the unlikely event of a nuclear attack occur. We believe that the public response is very different. The window is very different for being notified, and I think most importantly, the response is different, that there needs to be different action taken should there be a nuclear attack than what is expected for a hurricane or a tsunami. So I just wanted to thank you for being here. Want to thank you for helping inform the public. This is a test. We will have a new siren that the public will be hearing. It is different than what the siren would be for a natural disaster. And we are working with you to teach the public about what the appropriate response should be. So thank you for being here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Vern Miyagi, Administrator of Hawaii Emergency Management Agency. To put things in perspective, you might have just heard this morning there was another missile launch from North Korea. I would have hoped that he had waited about another couple hours so we could have gotten this done first. But again, it's not stopping. It's in our face. It's an elephant in the room. So when people say that we should prepare for this, it's not true. We should prepare for this. Unlikely. Emphasize that, unlikely for many, many, many reasons, but we should be prepared. Why are we reinitiating this siren? The whole purpose of doing this unique siren tone for this event is to provide the people of Hawaii, including the visitors, as much warning and preparation time as possible. That is the whole purpose of this unique siren tone. Now, this signal tone will be initiated centrally at Berkheimer Tunnel to the statewide. So as soon as Pacific Command notifies my state warning point emergency operating people that there is a missile inbound toward Hawaii that endangers Hawaii, we will trigger the statewide siren from Berkheimer Tunnel from here. So that'll save us some time, And again, the focus is to get the public and our visitors as much warning time to prepare as possible. It is critically important for the public to understand what each siren tone means. Now, we've done about 27 plus community outreach meetings with a variety of communities, including Department of Education. We talked to town hall meetings in a variety of locations. The public expects this warning. They want this warning and they expect it, and our job is to make sure that they get it as fast as possible. All of our outreach programs in the past, and if you check our website, some of the materials you have today, is to inform the public of what to expect and what to do in the event this unlikely event happens, to prepare them. That's all we want to do right now. At this point in time, I would ask our technical guys to sound a demonstration of the attack warning siren. Now, if you recall, we say it's a new siren, but it's something that has been in existence for many, many years. It's the old World War II air raid sirens. So if you watch the History Channel on TV, you'll probably hear the same thing. But we are reinitiating this siren tone. Now, you have handouts that we've passed out. One is a slide that shows you exactly what's going to happen when we do the test on Friday. Normally, we have the steady tone siren, which is attention alert siren, that will go on for about 50 seconds. There'll be a break for about 15 seconds, and there would be this attack warning tone will go on. And that is what's going to happen on Friday. For those of you that live in Kalaeloa, Barbers Point area, the city and county of Honolulu has a separate tone for hazmat, but that'll be separate, only unique to that jurisdiction in the city and county of Honolulu. As the governor said, this is a test. It's a test. So we want to make sure that this works. So that's why we're doing this procedure right now. And we have to identify if there's any glitches or any handicaps or things that we have to fix ahead of time between us, PACOM, and the counties, that we get ahead of it and repair that right away and get it out. I have to make one thing clear, because I've heard this in various outlets and media sources, mostly on the international side. We are not doing an evacuation drill as a part of this. It is only a test of the siren system. There is no evacuation drill as part of this. The last point I want to make is that the siren, the audible outdoor siren system, is one component of a three-component public notification system. The other points are the emergency alert system. This is what you see on the bottom of your television screens when broadcast is interrupted on TV and radio to give you a message. That's one part, the emergency alert system, the EAS. The other one is the wireless emergency alert system. This is your smartphones, your smart devices. Now, when this happens, when this event occurs, you will get the same thing that you get when you get weather alerts on your phones. That's what we're working on right now. There is no provision to test that, but that's where we get the information if this actually happens. And as was brought up before, the basic guidance, again, if you hear this, is get inside, and stay tuned. Now, this sounds simple, but when you have that short a time, about 12 minutes after we get the notification, 12, 13 minutes, that is about all you can do. The main effort is that don't try to get shelter in place and identify where you're going at that time. Get ahead of it. As you're driving to work, when you're at work, when you're driving home, when you're at home, get an idea of where that shelter in place is at that time. And same thing for your family. You don't want to take a shelter in place and then worry about your wife, your spouse, your husband. They have to have the same plan, and you can take some comfort in knowing that they are already prepared and they know where to go. So please keep that in mind. Just get ahead of it. Our basic guidance, again, get inside, and stay tuned. This will save lives. Know where your shelter in place is ahead of time. Know what to expect, where to go, and what to do ahead of time for yourself and your family. That is our primary message. And again, like the governor said, thank you for getting the word out for us, because if it wasn't for the media, we would not be getting consistent messages out. Okay, thank you.
Good morning and aloha. Mayor is on the front line of civil defense. And what's different about this warning is it's going to be initiated statewide instead of county by county. As you know, every county tests their sirens once a month. We do it for a couple of reasons. One, to make sure our sirens are all working, and we find from time to time certain ones aren't, and we go and repair them to make sure they're in proper working condition. And two, it's to alert all of us, the public, that there could be a tsunami, there could be a hurricane, and when you hear this siren, the traditional siren, tune in and have a plan. And I think any responsible civil servant wants to make sure that we empower the public to be prepared. And so now with this additional threat, we want to, one, test the sirens statewide to make sure they're operating properly with this new warning, and also to ask the public to be ready just in case. And I think it's responsible to do this. It means, as Vern said, to talk about what you're going to do if you heard that siren and you're on the road. What are you going to do if you're at work and you hear that siren, and what are you going to do if you're at home? And you want to make sure that your loved ones are also prepared and have talked about it. I mean, the chances are so slim that this will ever occur. For sure, we're probably going to be meeting with all of you again when there's a tsunami alert or a hurricane. And we're prepared for that. I think in some ways, we're the most prepared people in the United States, because I don't know how many other places around the country test their sirens every single month and are sensitized to what to do when natural disasters occur. This is just one more step in preparation. But I want to remind everyone that, I mean, we, on this island, we remain the safest, one of the safest big cities in the United States of America. For the residents here, for the visitors who come here. And we want people to continue to celebrate life here, and not to be overly concerned, but just be empowered and prepared, and the very slim chance that we actually had to set off this siren. For that, I want to thank Vern, I want to thank the governor for bringing all the mayors together to talk about this and to be prepared, and to then help the public in the state of Hawaii be prepared too. Thank you so much.
Good morning and aloha from the county of Kauai and Niihau. Our island has had its own challenges of hurricanes and other disasters, and so we understand some of the challenges. I really want to thank Governor and of course Vern and General for really bringing this to the forefront. I was just saying earlier how important these trainings have been, not for only internally, but amongst our civil defense teams throughout the state. This is truly an example of cooperation and coordination and collaboration, and making sure that each of our counties are at the table, getting the information we need. Today is a day that we get out and take care of the emotional side. We reach out to our people of this beautiful state. We let them know what's happening should a disaster like this happen. On Kauai, we do have PRMF, our base as well there, and with training and testing, but also defense too. So we're small, but we're in there. We're effective in trying to support each county. All of us work together. My fellow mayors, and I'm really proud of the teamwork that has come from working with Haima and Vern and the team. Our guys tell me all the time how wonderful it's been training and learning and understanding. So today is a day to reach out into our communities, reach into our homes, reach out into our businesses, giving them the opportunity to really understand, God forbid, if there is some kind of disaster such as this, that we are ready. We're prepared as a team, as an island. We're a state separated by ocean, but we're connected by business and families and opportunities. And this has opened the door for so much of us to stay connected. I'm really proud of that. So, like Vern said, God forbid if something did happen, get in, and stay tuned. And that's a simple message, but very effective. If we can say that collectively as a team standing before you to take care of our entire state. Aloha and mahalo.
Good morning. On behalf of the County of Maui and Mayor Alan Arakawa, we'd like to extend our appreciation, our sincere appreciation to Governor Ige and the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, in particular General Logan, as well as the Haima Administrator Vern Miyagi and his staff for their continued support and partnership. We've had numerous discussions with Haima over the many past months regarding this North Korean threat. While a ballistic missile strike may be deemed very highly unlikely, as has been said many times this morning, it is still our duty and our obligation to take certain steps to ensure that our warning systems are functioning properly, that our citizens are familiar with this new pattern, and that we are educating and informing our community about this potential hazard. Hopefully, we will never have to put this to the test, but if we do, at least we will have been provided the knowledge and the instructions on what we need to do to deal with it. Living in Hawaii, as we've talked about and you've heard this morning, we're faced with numerous hazards, much more common hazards that we have to deal with, like hurricanes, earthquakes, and tsunamis. Much like how we take the time to prepare ourselves for those hazards, we should also take the time to prepare ourselves for this one. Review the materials, understand the recommendations that have been provided by the state so that we can all be prepared. How well we prepare will determine the success of our recovery. As government officials, it is incumbent upon us to prepare our constituents for all emergency events, no matter how unlikely they may be to occur. Maui County will continue to support the state and our sister counties with this and other hazards that we may face. We appreciate the state, including the counties, in its preparation efforts and the overall prudent approach to dealing with this issue. Mahalo.
Good morning. I represent the Hawaii County on behalf of Harry Kim. There's no question there's a lot of challenges that we face today. These are unprecedented times. And there's no question that the Big Island, because of its size compared to the rest of the islands, has many challenges. We have a lot of remote areas. There are areas that, a lot of roads that we need to address. But let me assure the public that, for one thing, our Mayor, Harry Kim, has had the opportunity to meet with our Civil Defense Administrator, Talmadge Magno, each morning with his staff at 6:30 in the morning from the time he took office. There's no question about his experience or knowledge in regards to civil defense matters. We're very concerned about the challenges that we faced. We're concerned about the public schools, the children that will be in school, depending on the time that this particular situation should happen. But we also know that, that Harry Kim, our mayor, will definitely have our staff well informed and prepared for any type of situation that may come about in this state of Hawaii. But we'd also like to acknowledge and recognize the leadership of Governor David Ige, along with Vern Miyagi and General Logan, for giving them the opportunity to share with the county about this statewide plan. Because it involves all of us here in the counties in the state of Hawaii to not really take this situation very lightly. We need to be prepared. We need to be cognizant of the situation at hand. With North Korea sending another missile over Japan today, definitely shows us that we are on the right track to ensure that the public safety is at hand. You know, there's no question, I think, that when we look at opportunities for the state or for the counties, that we need to show the leadership at this time to really assure the public of their being safe and being able to respond to this type of emergency that is necessary. So on behalf of Hawaii County, I'd just like to assure all of us here today that we will do it right. We'll do the right thing, and we will be prepared for any disaster that occurs in the state of Hawaii. Thank you.
So again, Governor, mayors, and managing directors, thank you so much for your participation and your team effort in all of this. We greatly appreciate that. We now like to open it up to any questions that you may have.
Just to be clear, this Siren won't be used for any other scenario, including a different type of attack?
Yes, the attack siren is specifically for the event of a nuclear attack. And we want the public to understand what that siren sounds like because, as we've said, the response window is very short. and it's very focused to get inside, stay inside, and listen for further instructions.
Excuse me, but it's probably been, what, 25 years since the air raid siren went away. I remember when I was 13, I moved here, and I remember that siren very vividly. We would hear it on test day, and so we all of us that grew up that are about in our 50s and 60s, we remember those days. And so now our younger generation, they haven't heard that siren, so this is a way to help them and get them also prepared.
Someone in the back. You have a question? The back woman in the blue dress. Sorry.
I'm not sure who can answer this question, but what can you tell the public about sheltering in place? What's the most ideal situation, the most safe situation to be in if that siren should be enacted?
Yeah, the shelter-in-place guidance, we have some stuff on our website, but again, it's a substantial building, concrete, brick, even dirt, wood. These are all barriers. You know, there's really three things that I've learned about protection from radiation. One is distance, time. Distance, in other words, how far away you are from the source of the radiation. The second one is how long you can stay away from it. And the third one is barriers. And the barriers is the wall, windows, not windows, but walls, metal, any kind of substantial structure that you can get into, i.e. underground parking structures, basements of buildings, and so on and so on. I totally understand that depending on where you are, they might not have anything like that. But then you have to, like I said in the beginning, where you are during the day, try to see where you would go if this event happened at that time. Okay, like my family, my wife, we live in Kalama Valley. House was built about 2000. I think it's double wall. But anyway, all she can do is get into the center of the house and just stay there as long as she can. And that's the guidance that we're putting out. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Vern, can I ask you, how unique is the Hawaii-North Korea preparedness planning? Do any other states test attack warning siren?
It's funny because all of these international and national stations, you know, CNN, they're all saying we're the first guys, and we haven't called others to see whether they're doing anything. But if we are the first guys, I'm very happy that we are. Toby Claremont, I recognized him earlier. He called about a bunch of states when we started this, and there was one, Ventura County in California. They were really up on this, and we capitalized on that. But I know with us in Guam, I think we're getting there. We got a lot more work to do on the plans, but then my understanding is that you know, other states have called us to get an idea of what we're doing also.
The governor has.
Yes, can I just say I have had conversations with Governor Walker of Alaska, and we've definitely put our emergency response people together so that we can share information about what we're doing. I've also had conversations with Governor Calvo from Guam. Same thing, you know, as governors, I think we understand our responsibility and we are committed to sharing the information that we have. I'm not aware of anyone else doing a test siren. I have talked with both of them about why I believe it's important. And a lot of it is because of the response time that is involved.
And just as a follow-up, tomorrow morning I have a teleconference with all the 54 states and territories, Homeland Security advisors, and I will be covering what we're doing for North Korea preparedness. And I'm sure the other states will come back to me and let me know where they are so I can better answer that question.
Bert, you mentioned that there's still a lot of work to be done, other plans. Can you explain what's next?
Right, the focus has been on phase one, which is public education, getting us working on the notification to the public from U.S. Pacific Command to give the public the maximum amount of alert and warning time. What remains now is after impact, the next 72 hours, and after that, what is the response? Now, a missile strike in Honolulu is catastrophic, but then again, We have to determine where the impact was, what the damage is, what the yield of the weapon was, what the hazard zones are, what the radioactive plumes are. And based on that, we have to identify what we can and cannot do. And there is a plethora of federal agencies, state agencies, for example, military agencies, that all bring stuff to the fight. We have to orchestrate their arrival so that we don't get in the way of each other, and we handle where they will go and how they will support us. That all has to be orchestrated yet. So that's what we have to do. There's a lot of work to do on that. Did that answer the question?
As far as, we're talking about schools and other things like that, and their preparedness as well, not just the outside agencies coming though. Those plans are...
We're working right now. The schools, we've met with the Department of Education, the complex area superintendents, the principals, and we're working together with DOE as far as what the plans are for shelter in place. The schools already have shelter in place plans for other events. So we're capitalizing on that so that we can work with them. The guidance to the schools right now is 48 hours. 48 hours in place depending on where their location is with respect to the impact area. The 48 hours is based on the decay of the radioactivity after the event. Okay, that's where we are right now.
Can maybe Toby speak to the radiation decay? Because people seem to think that the radiation would be around for thousands of years. But could Toby or somebody speak to the radiation decay and when it's safe to come back up?
Okay, well, Toby is here, but I think he's going to allow me to speak on this because we've gone over this so many times. But the point is, at blast time, as the fallout goes up in the sky, and it depends where the impact is. If it's a ground burst, as you know, all of this stuff will go in the sky as fallout. And as you go to the scale of the decay rate, it's very rapid for the isotopes involved with the burst. And it decays very rapidly. So at the end of about 48 hours, a lot of it has decayed substantially. So we're looking at that time frame as far as evacuation and working on what areas we can get people out from. There's going to be hot zone or hot areas where fallout has accumulated, and those have to be identified and restricted and signed off so that people don't go there. But that's the assessment part that we have to do with all of these people coming in from the mainland to go do that. But we're looking at 48 hours as far as the decay rate, and we have a chart on that in our slides that we've been presenting to the public. Let's see if is there a question from the big one?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate your support and cooperation in keeping the public informed. As we said, the new attack siren will become part of the monthly tests. We have much more work to be done to get fully prepared for the unlikely event, but we are committed as an emergency response team to implementing all of the plans that we have currently for hurricane, earthquake, or tsunami, and expand it to include the unlikely event of a nuclear attack. So thank you very much for being here.
Okay, we'll talk at some point. Good job.
See you. Governor, thank you.
Governor, that's great.
See you later. General, thank you so much for having us.
Did I answer your question?